This year's Wimbledon was a particularly memorable one, with a number of big moments that I'm sure fans will remember for many years to come. Obviously, the biggest of these moments would have to be the 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz winning his first Wimbledon title in spectacular fashion. Although Alcaraz came into the event as the world number one and the winner at Queen's this year, his minimal experience on the notoriously difficult grass had most people doubting his chances. Unsurprisingly, pretty much everyone had the former 7-time Wimbledon champ Djokovic as a clear favourite. Despite this, the wonder kid Alcaraz proved to be a very fast learner. From the beginning of the event, he played like a seasoned grass court specialist, moving well and dominating points with his powerful ground strokes and superb touch. In Alcaraz's run to the Wimbledon title, he didn't seem to have too many issues, steamrolling through his opponents. The most resistance he had was in his matches against Jarry and Berrettini, who both managed to take a set off the Spaniard. On each occasion though, Alcaraz would respond emphatically, showing his mental fortitude. This very thing would be pushed to the brink in the final though, when he was up against the favourite and all-time great Novak Djokovic. I'm sure most of you following Wimbledon this year were salivating at the possibility of this showdown from the very start, and this didn't disappoint. The storyline was straight out of a Hollywood script. You had Alcaraz as a shining star of the new generation, competing to dethrone the superhuman sporting legend Djokovic, who was also representing the Big Three, the historic trio that completely dominated the sport for the past 20 years. At the time of the final, Djokovic actually hadn't been beaten on centre court for an incredible 10 years. Further adding to the plot, Alcaraz's last battle with Djokovic was a painful one, losing to him at the French Open Semis around a month earlier. Alcaraz had been ultra competitive against Djokovic for the first 2 sets, with both playing at a super high level. However, early in the third, Alcaraz cramped badly and wasn't able to recover. This led to Djokovic dominating the next couple of sets, getting the victory. Could Alcaraz keep up with the endurance king Djokovic if the final went deep? Would he be able to succeed on grass with so little experience? Could he handle the pressure on the biggest stage in tennis against possibly the greatest of all time? Alcaraz would amazingly answer all of these questions with a resounding yes. Saying this though, Djokovic blew Alcaraz away in the first set, winning the first 5 games of the final and taking the set 6-1. The Serb's consistent shot depth and unbelievable defence stumped the 20-year-old. It seemed like, as predicted, Alcaraz was another youngster that would fall victim to the seemingly ageless Djokovic. The young Spaniard is just different though. He managed to keep his cool in the second, taking it to a tie-break. Through a combination of incredible shot-making and steely composure, he would hold off a set point for Djokovic to eventually win the tie-break and take the second set. This really got the crowd going, fueling Alcaraz. In the third set at the French Open, a fatigued Alcaraz capitulated. He had learned from this though, and at the third set at Wimbledon, Alcaraz began to take control of the match this time. He broke Djokovic in the first game of the set and then amazingly a further 2 more times, taking the third set 6-1. The 5th game of the set was a pretty epic one, lasting a whopping 26 minutes. Alcaraz would eventually win the game, underlying the fact that the momentum had well and truly shifted. At the end of the third, the marathon contest had reached the 3-hour mark. You can never ever count out Djokovic though. In the fourth, he rallied back with his trademark incredible returning, further reiterating why he is considered the best ever in this area. Djokovic would ultimately win the 4th set, taking the match into a 5th and final set. At this point, Djokovic looked to have pulled another one of his Houdini acts, but Alcaraz wasn't done yet. The youngster's mental toughness was a thing to behold. A deciding set in the biggest final against the greatest opposition possible, and Alcaraz didn't falter. He showed he had the champion's mindset to match his electrifying play. The first couple of games in the final set were very competitive, with both players having break points, although neither were able to convert any of their opportunities. The tension on centre court was at a fever pitch, with the crowd completely captivated. This was one of the great Wimbledon finals. In Djokovic's next service game, Alcaraz would continue to push, winning more break points. This time though, after a dramatic rally, Alcaraz would sensationally break Djokovic. The crowd roared for this young challenger. As the set continued, an ice-cool Alcaraz was able to stay strong and hold his serve game after game. Djokovic kept pushing to find weaknesses to exploit, but this was the Spaniard's day to shine. Alcaraz would ultimately serve it out, and after 4 hours and 43 minutes of play, he had become the 2023 Wimbledon champion. Incredible stuff. Pure emotion exuded from the 20-year-old. He had done it. This spectacular win could really springboard Alcaraz to dominate even more in the future, specifically on the Grand Slam stage. The 20-year-old knows he can beat the best on the big occasion now, and I'm sure he's hungry for more victories. If this does happen, this match will prove to be a pivotal moment in tennis history, finally marking a passing of the guard moment between the dominant mythical force that was the Big Three and the hungry next generation seeking glory as their idols did countless times. Saying this though, Djokovic isn't done yet and still playing fantastic tennis. Only time will tell how he responds in this final stage of his career. The rest of this season, especially the US Open, will be very fascinating. Hopefully we get another Alcaraz-Djokovic final. I hope you enjoyed this video and Wimbledon this year. Watch out for more content coming soon. Bye guys.